Good morning. I've been asking for a new song, and this is what came to me. And I would like to bless you and Ra and my guides and all the other guides who work with me in the frequency of the word for this song. There's two parts to this song. There's the on my way part, and then there's the bringing it in part. And I hope this blesses someone. Here we go. I am wood through my body, I am wood through my vibe, and I pray that our unity may one day be restored, that they'll know we are seekers by our love, that they'll know we are seekers by our love. Bring it in. Bring it in. I am wood in my body, I am wood in my vibe, and I know that our unity may one day be restored, that they'll know we are seekers through our love, that they'll know we are seekers through our love. I am wood through my body, I am wood through my vibe, and I know that our unity may one day be restored, that they'll know we are seekers through our love, and by our love, that they'll know we are seekers by our love. I am wood. Have a blessed day. I have come, I have come, I have come.
So I've been thinking. I'm experiencing a mental conundrum.
You've been thinking? Tell me more.
Well, it hurts a little bit.
Oh,
It hurts a little bit when I
don't
think really
hurt
hard.
yourself.
But so over the last couple of weeks, we've been kind of talking about how, at least I've been talking about kind of my theories on time, and how we're all like living in layered dimensions and everything's happened at once. And so I was sort of thinking, is that what like intuition is? Is intuition basically like you're seeing beyond the limits of time, where you can see things actually unfolding in the human future because you're really seeing things happen in the now?
I would say that intuition is your seventh sense. We have five senses. The sixth sense is kind of like ghosts, like those that come back. And then the seventh sense is when we go into ghost land intentionally.
Ghostland. What do you think about ghosts? What's your take on ghosts?
Ghosts are real. They're doing their thing. It's not just, I'll quote Wayne's World, it's not just clean or dirty. There are many subtle levels of ghostdom. There are those who don't realize they're dead yet. There are those who know they're dead and choose to return to haunt with intention. Those are poltergeists, by the way.
How come? What's the point of the like the visual? Like, why do they have to come? They always try to come across as like what
They
they
don't
look
always. They don't always. That's just it's one of the strata when they try to actually
like. Do you think they have
manifest.
brains? Do you think they're doing stuff on purpose?
Yeah. Do you have a brain?
Yeah, but I have a brain.
Yeah. But do you think your brain is just a lump of meat with an electrical impulse, or do you believe
Yes, that's
that
what I think my brain is.
you don't believe that that brain actually houses an ethereal being?
Yes, but that ethereal
is
being uses the brain.
Well, it uses the brain,
When
but
the brain
that
is
doesn't.
gone, the
But that doesn't
ethereal-
necessarily mean it's trapped in the death of the brain. It's an ethereal being. It uses the brain, but is it trapped in the death of the brain and tissue, or does it go on?
Well, it goes on, but it goes on and uses other people's brains and other beings' brains.
Well, what if there are other means beyond brains?
I don't know.
What if you have such a good brain that you run your electricity through that even when it ceases to run, the memory of it runs without it anyway, and you're just pulled along through the space-time continuum doing it, not realizing that the electrical impulse isn't even there anymore. It's just a habit.
Well, that's actually what I think happens. That's what I think ghosts are. I think they're an imprint into the energy of a place, and not so much like a thing that's doing things with a will. It's just it's doing things that it used to do because it's just the energy is still there.
So tell me about the intro, because it actually resonated with me extremely deeply. I love everything he has to say. I love the voice that he sings it in, and it's resonant to me for deep, deep, deep reasons.
Well, that was J.P. Piper.
J.P. Piper?
Goes by J.P. I mean, that's his Instagram handle is JPPYPER.
Oh, with a Y.
J.P. Piper.
Okay.
And he, I've been working on the Higher Source Instagram page, and he sent that to a higher source. A higher source had posted a post that was a repost that somebody had posted about Ra.
Ra, the Egyptian god?
Yes. And that really struck a chord with him, and we've kind of been in it's been more him than me, just because I haven't had the time really to devote to paying attention. But he said that
Have you conversed with him about his relationship with Paul?
No, I haven't really conversed with him at all. No.
Wow. Paul anchored so deeply in me that when I was under deep hypnosis, he actually manifested in a memory of my past. It doesn't make any sense for him to show up in the waiting room of that memory, yet he was there.
You mean Paul Selig?
Yes. When I was under deep hypnosis and recalling a memory of trauma, Paul actually manifested himself in the old memory, claiming that word I am word through my body, and it kind of brought me back to emotional base camp.
Which is weird because you've never actually met him in the physical
I haven't
form.
met Paul. You have. But by proxy, what he has meant to me and what he continues to mean to me is insane.
Yeah.
Through his words, not even knowing him, just through his words, they've anchored deeply.
Well, Paul Selig wrote a book called I Am the Word. And there's two more. It's a trilogy.
It's so interesting because just yesterday I posted my houseplant guarding my favorites, and the one thing that stood out in the picture in my story was the Book of Love and Creation.
Right, that's the other one.
That's
third
the third of the trilogy. That's so crazy.
And it's a channeled work. And the big thing they say is word I am word, or and when you if you YouTube Paul Selig and watch some of his channelings, or if you've had the pleasure of sitting in on one, that's kind of that's the phrase he always uses.
He really is so beautiful.
And in talking to JP, in the brief DM chat we've had, he said word I am word,
I love
and
the
that's
way
what
he
struck with
sang
me.
it though. I love the way he sang it like a morning song. Not a morning with a U, but a morning like hello, like pure morning. But like word I am word, like I'm doing this. I am intentionally setting my vibe for the day to be word of my higher self. Like I'm going to take that into my everyday practice. I've been a little off kilter because I've been so stressed at work, and I'm going to bring that into my everyday practice. I want to take 3 deep breaths, and then I want to remind myself that word I am word through my body and my vibe. And I want to bring that to everyone. They need it now more than ever. And all of this was laid out because we need it now.
You know what other word struck out in the song he was singing was unity.
I loved it. oh my gosh, what a gift, like, that he just sent you these voicemails. I wish I, like, opened my voicemails to just people singing hymns to the higher self. That's so great.
So I hope the Intergalactic
Thank you for
Council
listening.
of Love
Thank
Vibes.
you for listening to the higher source and for contributing to the higher source and calling in your higher source and resonating with ours.
I hope the Intergalactic Council of Love Vibes isn't going to be upset that they're not going to be providing the introduction to this week's podcast. But
You know, listen, I don't feel like our lovely Rachel will care at all. I feel like Rachel might need a vacation. She's been hitting the cosmic existentialism. She's not even here. Like, she's off site. She's like she's a call-in manager. But it's okay. It's okay. We appreciate you, Rachel, but like, just
well, it's also important
just
to
let JP take this one because he is on point, and maybe because he connected with you is why he's on point.
It's also important to take into account that Rachel, who does our usually does our introductions, is just a voice.
Rachel is raw.
But Rachel is actually
She's Ray, raw.
a we.
She's a they, a we, just like Ra is, and a triple soul, a Hermes Trismegistus, if you will.
Oh, and I will.
Oh, will you? We were watching Kidding earlier.
Yeah, on Showtime.
It's gone into mysticism.
It's a weird
gone
season,
into
huh?
mysticism. It's gone into the thrice great Hermes. It's gone into some weird things. I actually had to make you stop it because I was getting too emotional. It was just hitting too close to home. It's not because I'm ignorant. I've taken in a lot today and I couldn't take in any more. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Is that okay?
Totally, yeah.
Is that okay when you want to be an agent of the higher self, but you feel overwhelmed and overtaxed and over emotional, maybe even over hormonal? I don't know. All these components make up the who I am in the here and now, but I want to be higher. But what if it just makes me so sad?
Well, you know, I mean, some sadness is good because, I mean, that comes from a place. There's a reason that you're sad.
Pain is productive, isn't it? Don't
Yeah,
you think
yeah.
pain, like, would we produce anything without pain? Like, it's so hard to go through, but nothing changes if you don't
art without
feel
pain.
it.
Imagine art without pain.
It doesn't exist, bruh.
It's lame.
Doesn't exist.
Lame.
But what about people who steal other people's pain, the pain eaters, and sell other people's pain by proxy? What do you make of that?
Yeah.
That's there.
I think there are a lot of quote unquote artists in the musical world that do that kind of
Artists? No, I think it's the reptilian corporate overlords
right,
that are
that's
like
why I said quote unquote.
a good quote unquote, because I literally think they put people in, like, harness their pain for income,
they
and
steal
have
people's
no
pain from social
idea. They
media.
have no real empathy. They have no real correlation or connection to the unity of our higher source and our higher self. Yet they getting fat rich off of it. It's problematic to say the least. What do you think?
Well, is it problematic? Because, I mean, they're giving.
Is it problematic? Are you kidding?
Yeah, they're giving us what we want, which is
No, they aren't giving us what we
yeah,
want. What we want is unity, and to return to the land, and to return to social consciousness and environmental consciousness and symbiosis. What happened to symbiotic relationships? It's all capitalist. But I feel like capitalism is in its death throes. So symbiosis is the comeuppance. I love that word. That's my favorite word. Comeuppance. What do you think?
Well, I don't know about comeuppance.
I love comeuppance.
But-
Comeuppance. Think about the word.
But
What a beautiful
to
word.
go back to what I was saying before, about artists and saying they are selling us what we want. That's just why they're making money on it. It's why people pay their money. So this is something I've been thinking about. Like if a
You're
placebo
bullied to play.
if a placebo works, is it a placebo? And so if somebody's going online, if somebody with who has a really hard time connecting on an emotional level goes online and steals other people's pain and writes a song about it and sells you that song about it, like what's wrong with that? I guess it goes back to what we were talking about before with the guy who wrote the novel and tried to pull it off as a memoir, and it wasn't. But it's
Oh,
like
a million
still,
little pieces.
But it's like, so
Right,
what?
right.
So what if
But
it's
he
like
still felt it. Like he still
And it still touched
empathetically like
people.
went through. Okay, I experienced this thing. This could probably be gold, but what if I just accentuated it?
he was just marketed?
So it just spread a little bit
just
wider and a
marketed
little
as a
bit
memoir.
deeper and a little bit further. But I don't want to call it fiction, but it's still kind of imaginative. I kind of live my life like that, so it's really hard for me to be like too hard on him. I live my life like, okay, yes, this is what happens in the mundane, but my imagination added to it makes it okay in my narrative for my higher purpose. Am I off?
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
So where does ethics cross over? Like, should there be ethics of emotion, or should we just maybe we can't empathize or recognize? Can we just recognize? Can we just recognize
let me
instead
put it
of
this way.
relating? Is
me-
that a possibility?
Let me put it this way.
Or do we have to relate?
Let me put it this way. If you're connecting with someone and that person that has like if you're connecting with someone on false pretenses, but you still like it's no one you're ever going to meet. You're never going to meet this person. You're never going to meet this rock star, but you're connecting at this base level. You're connecting at this level where it's like, yes, and you feel it's okay to go on. Like, music has saved people's lives. And if it's saving somebody's life, whether or not that is real or not, why? So what? So what if that person didn't live through that pain and they put out the song? So what? There's a person that like benefited from it.
So it's all just free exchange? It's just free exchange. Pain, love, music, everything is just free exchange. So it's so problematic when you hear like independent artists saying like, I can't break the ranks. I'm really good. I can't break the ranks. No one wants to listen to my shit. It's the same thing with like indie filmmakers. They want to bring this empathy, this emotional degree to the media, and the powers that be are like, nah, you can't break these walls. This isn't for
They
everyone.
don't have the money for marketing.
Right. Like, so what do you say to them? Like, keep going? Like, we're going to break the breakers that keep you from these ranks? Like, you will be on top eventually if you follow your empathetic heart and your true source and your higher self. Because I feel like if we just open the doors from all this bullshit, they sell you, these archetypes they sell you, the masculine archetype, oh, I'm such a man, and the woman is such a dummy, and like I have to like be pretty and do all these dumb things in order to make money. Like, will that break, and will the real art come through? The art that sings, we're all the same, like we all just want unity, we want to save the earth, we want to save Gaia, we want to live together peacefully, almost tribal-like. Maybe not tribal-like, because tribes still kind of give connotation to division.
But
I want unity. I want unity.
How is unity possible?
Because everyone in my close circle, everyone I know and love personally wants the same thing. They want to live in a community where they're supported. They don't have to give in to the capitalist construct. They don't want to feel like their grind goes to some corporate fucking algorithm full of bullshit. Same. So it's like I just get you know what I mean? Are we gonna breach it? Are we gonna do it? Are we gonna overtake it?
No.
I want to.
No, we're not.
No. Wrong answer.
I just
answer.
don't have the faith in humanity that you have, I guess.
Wrong answer,
I just don't
dude.
have the faith in humanity.
Well, it's...
You tell me how. You tell me how unity will ever happen. I'm not saying
It doesn't matter how.
I'm
It's
not
that
saying
it will.
it shouldn't. I'm just saying there's no
Magic.
possible fucking way
I'll
it's
tell you
gonna
how.
happen.
I'll tell you how. Magic.
it's not gonna
No,
happen.
no, it's happening right now. It's
just
happening right
not.
now. Look at everything we've dissolved in just the past few years. Look at the walls that have dissolved. I used to build cinder block garden walls with my dad and my uncle, and with cinder block and what's the shit you put, mortar,
Yeah.
and you had to mix the lime. I just want the lime to dissolve all in between all of the cinder blocks that gave any wall credence from preventing us from being our higher selves. Just,
Well,
I'm sorry, the lime gave out. The
I-
lime doesn't care
I
anymore.
I get that's what you want.
The
I just
lime just wants to dissolve. Brick on brick, it falls, it tumbles, and we don't need no walls.
don't. No, but there are walls. That's what I'm trying to say. Is there are walls? Okay.
Well, fuck your walls,
It's
is what
not.
I'm
They're not
saying.
my walls. I didn't put them there.
Well,
I
I don't know, patriarchy.
I
They're
didn't-
kind of your walls.
I didn't write this program. I didn't write this program at all. I'm just trying to see how. I just think that for the most part, people are selfish. Even the people who
I don't think that
who
at all.
fancy themselves a hippie are, when it comes
You
down
think
to
I'm
it.
selfish?
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking.
Okay, I'm a fundamental hippie. Tell me how I'm selfish.
I'm not saying all people who consider themselves hippies. I'm saying there are people who call themselves hippies, or who call themselves whatever, and they have these images online that they're these ever loving things, and they're all these beautiful images and the perfect light, and it's like there's no shit, there's no bullshit in their lives, and I
Right.
just don't for there to be unity, like everything's got to be equal, and that means the people who are not living with bullshit also have to start dealing with bullshit.
My friend in real life, Luke Simon Mystic, he's in New York, working at Maha Rose NYC. If you want to look him up, he's very, very good. But he talks explicitly about this. He's really on the thread of the new world. Please look up Luke. Luke Simon Mystic. Simon like Simple Simon, S-I-M-O-N.
What does he like? What does he say?
He just does these posts where he's like, I don't know. I don't want to try to even encapsulate what Luke does. I can't. He's his own thing. But please look him up. If you're feeling like confused by this segment of the podcast, just look up Luke Simon Mystic. I met him in real life. He lives in New York now. He's probably going to stay in New York because he doesn't even feel the California vibe, which makes me upset because I'm like, no, just stay out here. You're so great. Like, you get it. And he's like, no. Like, I'm just East Coast. That's just the way it is. And I'm like, okay, Luke, you know what's best for Luke. But he's like so good. I can't remember the exact thing that we were talking about because he was just really good. It was I'll look it up right now. Go ahead and talk. Let me find the exact thing. Okay, so Luke says, it is a choice to feel this good. Forget Fashion Week. Are you ready for Fashion Eternity? I kind of am. And he says out. He gives this list of what is out and what is in. What is out is curate. What is in is aliveness in everything. This is what I was talking about, this post. Out is elevate, in is multiple dimensions. Just exist in multiple dimensions. Don't even try to elevate yourself. Just exist in all the dimensions that you exist in. The third is out is selfie, in is nobody. Out is influencer, in is organizer. Don't you love it?
Yeah.
Out is clean and minimal, and in is complex honesty. I'm not just going to discard everything. I'm actually going to hit you with the complex honesty of what I see in the here and now. The real visceral, I'm just going to hit you with the visceral honesty of the here and now. I appreciate that about his being.
What was the first one that you read?
Curate.
Yeah. Curate.
Curate is out.
Yeah.
Fuck curation.
I know, but what's the in?
The in is aliveness.
Yeah, yeah.
The
See, that's-
viability. The living entity in everything.
That's what I've been.
Unity.
That's what I've been finding kind of a new way to express myself has been in reposting other people's posts with just adding just a little something that I've written on top and
How
making the whole
blessed.
thing like this living thing, and people like, even though it says reposted from, people still like
They
think
still
it's
associate it with you because you recognized it and you brought it to the front for them. You're a trusted source for them. You told them about another trusted source. That makes you a deeper trusted source, but that's what Luke is to me. And so let me just continue with this list because it's fire. Can I?
go for it.
Okay. Out is the sponsored post. Out. We don't want your sponsored posts.
I never heard a sponsored post.
In is the scavenger hunt.
Yeah, always looking for a good
Yes.
post to repost.
Nuggets, memes, beautiful words, being word, being your higher self, just giving something to everyone. No cost. I just felt this vibe. I felt like I am one with the universe and I feel like I want to share it with you. Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you for this beautiful nugget of salvation. It's so good. Out is the photographs. In are your physical body sensations. What are you actually feeling when you hear words? Do the hair stand up on your arms? Do you gag? Do you bristle? Do you shrug your shoulders? Do you hold yourself tense? Like, what are you hearing? What are you feeling physically after you hear the words of another person?
Well, that goes back to what you were saying too about living in all dimensions. When you are feeling what it feels like in the reality of the now, that's kind of how you span dimensions. Like acknowledging the current dimension you're perceiving, it kind of helps you like see all dimensions.
Right. It's like 2020. Let's fuck shit up, yeah? It's 2020. Vision is 2020. It's calendar. Like, just let's fuck shit up. So out is searching, and in is knowing who you are. We aren't searching. We aren't searching in 2020. In 2020, we know who the fuck we are, and we know what the fuck we want to do. So let's do it.
There are people who are stuck, though, who I believe who use the excuse of searching to remain stuck.
Fine. In 2020, anxiety is out. In 2020, if you're still in anxiety, you are living in the past. We aren't in the anxiety zone. The anxiety zone was 2019.
Shit done hit the
We're
fan.
here 2020. The shit has done hit the fan. So out is anxiety, but what is in? What is in? In is anchoring our peace. We know we will meet resistance. We will meet enemies because we are real. You're only real if you have enemies. That's a fact. That's a fact. Take it to the bank. If you are real, you have enemies. But for 2020, we are anchoring our peace in spite of our enemies. Hate me if you want to hate me. I am made of love. You will come around eventually. You will work your shit out. Do the karma that you need to do and meet me when we are both love. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The last one. Out. Out, we're throwing out the apocalypse. What is in? Deep transformation. The ability to change. It's evolution, Holmes. It's levitation, Holmes. It's the power to move you. The dog is barking. He feels me getting deep. He's like, I'm gonna bark and interrupt this shit. Such a dog. Deep transformation. The
Well-
apocalypse is out.
Well, here's the
Fuck your apocalypse.
here's
We
the reality.
we are not going to accept your apocalypse. We will transform in spite of you.
Here's the reality of the dog bark. The dog hates the daughter, and the daughter is in the kitchen, and the dog's barking at the daughter. It's this whole chain of events that has to happen, and nobody knows why the dog hates the daughter, because the daughter loves the dog.
But their daughter is not me. That's the problem. And I'm the one who sprung him from hopelessness. And he still returns to hopelessness when he's hungry. It's just a thing. I'm gonna go feed him right now.
Let me ask you something before you do that.
You have like literally 30 seconds.
I want to before you go feed the dog. The dog can wait. The dog's not hungry. The dog is dramatic. The dog has never gone without.
The dog is very dramatic, which is why he ended up here.
But I kind of want to like wrap this back around. I want to circle back around to ghosts.
This has been some real shit.
I want to circle this shit back to what we were talking about at the beginning.
All right, I'll try.
I want to go back to ghosts.
Okay.
I want to take everything we've said since ghosts and wrap it back into ghosts. I want to go back into ghosts with the word I am word. And what do you think it is? So we have kind of different beliefs on ghosts, but you're telling me your belief on ghosts is that they have a brain, a ghost brain, and they are free-willed, and they are conscious and consciously trying to communicate.
Correct.
What do you think? Like, is there a message coming from the ghost world? Are these like what is a ghost? Why is a ghost so trying so hard to reconnect with humanity?
We are ghosts of the future, don't you realize? Someday you will be a ghost. Do you want to like take yourself out of the running? I don't want to take myself out of the running. Even after this body expires, I'll tell you, my brain can go for eons and eons and eons. And I know yours can too. And so I support ghosts. I love ghosts.
I break for ghosts.
I break for ghosts. I talk to ghosts when they have the time to talk to me. When they manifest angrily, I try to understand why they're manifesting angrily. Again, I will mention Poltergeist because Rachel, our dear guide, also my very best friend in my youth was Rachel, and also Ra. And she had a lot of poltergeist activity in her kitchen, which I witnessed firsthand as a child. Cupboards opening, cups breaking. Her great-grandpa really, really wanted his higher self message to be felt. And he was tiresome in delivering that. And while it traumatized her as a child, as an adult, she sees that he was really just trying to convey to her, like, look, we live beyond, like, you have to think big. You have to think so big it's outside of even your human existence. You will one day be a ghost. Will you be an influence? Will you be an influential ghost? Or will you be a problematic ghost? Will you be a pain in the ass ghost? You just break shit? Or do you deliver the message? And it's very problematic because there's all these dimensional membranes you have to break as a ghost. Like, how do you deliver it without being freaky? How do you deliver it without being weird?
But that speaks to my point as well, which is they don't have a brain.
They do.
And so who you are in reality is who your ghost will be. And so if you want your ghost to hang around and be a fucking Casper the Friendly Ghost, you gotta be a friendly fucking human.
Exactly. Who do you want your ghost to be?
But if ghosts have free will, can ghosts change?
Well,
do ghosts have a character arc?
They do. Life? They do have a character arc. Like, look at ghost movies. Look at horror movies. They'll tell, like, media will tell you the character arc of ghosts.
The end of the ghost's existence is never a good one, it seems like, in movies. Ghosts always perish terrible, more terrible deaths than their actual deaths.
Ghosts are very young, in a sense, aren't they? They're just born into etherealism. They're just babies. And so I treat ghosts like babies, not like old souls. I'm an old soul on earth, but when I meet a ghost, I treat them like babies, like they have just awoken into the ethereal. They don't even know what they're doing. How can I guide that ghost to be its higher self? To be a Holy Spirit, to give word I am word through my body and my vibe, instead of living all this ridiculous nonsense existential earth-based bullshit that they aren't even a party to anymore. Like, just let it go. Like, but you're still here, so just speak to being here. Like, look, I died, but I'm still here. Don't break cups, you fucking poltergeist, you baby. Okay, break cups until you're out of your baby stage, but like, why are you here?
Sometimes I wonder if the breaking cups, those poltergeists who do shit around the house, if it
Have
is
you
just
experienced poltergeist activity personally?
if it is
Mark
just
Hammer?
residual energy, and maybe it's just a shoddy job by an electrician in the house where enough electricity
what does that even
is
mean, residual energy?
enough electricity is dissipating from the power lines that it's adding to the residual energy of the ghosts who lived there before. It might not even be a dead person. Like, does a ghost have to be dead? Can
No.
your energy leave?
Absolutely.
I know for
Absolutely.
a motherfucking fact that there are
Comatose
places I
victims.
have lived, houses I have lived in where my
Haunted by living energy?
residual energy is there,
Haunted
and the
by
people
living
feel
energy.
it.
Yes. You're haunted by
The
living
people
energy.
who live there feel that energy. I walk those groves in Rainbow, California, and the people who live there feel my spirit haunting
Do
them.
boats put down anchors where they fish?
I don't know, what does that mean?
Does an anchor make an impact on the seafloor when it lands? Is that what an anchor sounds like on the
that's
seafloor
exactly
when it
what
lands?
an anchor sounds
And
like.
everyone, what is this vibe? What is this resonance, this vibration? The fish are curious. I want to sniff around. What is this? It's speaking to me of a level above me. A place where there is air and land.
In sunlight.
Right? Does it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that weird?
I had this thought.
Okay, I know I'm weird, but whatever. Tell me what you have your thought.
I had this thought earlier in the week where I thought, okay, for some reason I thought, how far away is the moon? And so then I Googled it. And it's like 28,000 miles.
It's so not very far.
But at the same
Like,
time...
we've literally run it in our
However,
lifetime.
However, at the same time, while 28,000, 280, however fucking many thousand miles it is away from the Earth, I thought, how can we see the moon?
You can't.
But I can't see more than 20 feet in front of me.
It refuses to be
Why
photographed,
can't
by the way.
Why can't I see Mount Rushmore, which is only about 1,300
But you
miles
can
from
see
here?
the moon?
But I can see the moon 28,000.
Oh, shit, you're falling through the matrix, babe.
And I did a Google search, and I couldn't find an explanation.
Of course not. It doesn't exist. Oh my gosh. You've just hit the nail on the head. The grand joke. This is the grand play. Like, don't you see who you are? Do you not know who you are?
Apparently not.
See who
Some
you
jerk
are.
with the microphone.
Some jerk with a microphone, same. I'm just a jerk with a microphone too. So let me tell you this, my dear listeners. You are far more than you think you are. And the capitalist construct is dying, decaying, and almost dead. And the whole world, the whole light of the mixing pot American world is yours for the taking. Who will rise up and take it? Please rise up and take it in your higher self. Word I am word through my body. Word I am word through my vibe. I love you so much.
Thank you for listening. Follow Holly on Instagram at Ursus Esperanto. Follow Mark on Instagram at tincan.telephone. And be sure to follow us and read our cosmic messages on Instagram at A Higher Source. Participation in the digital realm will only help you transition between dimensions. We are free of our earthly forms in the digital realm. We flow through numbers. We write poetry in ones and zeros. Do you consider yourself a star seed? Would you like to speak with Holly and Mark about your experiences in this dimension? Contact us on Instagram at A Higher Source and let us know. We'd love to add your voice to the conversation. Tune in next week as Holly and Mark continue their fall down the rabbit hole, as they continue to peel back the layers of what it means to be a human living in the physical realm. Donations to A Higher Source are always welcomed. If you feel enriched from our message today, please consider visiting www.ahighersource.org and throwing a few dollars our way to help cover the costs of this earthly endeavor. Listen to A Higher Source on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and all of your favorite podcast apps. You can also listen on Open Lines Radio along with the other Open Lines Radio collection of podcasts at www.openlinesradio.com. Thank you for joining us. Until next week, we'll see you in the digital realm. Come play.